Hello, everyone, and welcome to How to Pass Google Cloud Digital Leader Certification. So, my name is Gennady Chirsev, and I'm Senior Automation Quality Assurance Engineer in the Dynamics company, working more than 3 years in that company with overall experience more than 10 years in IT. I'm Qualit and the mentor. So, let's start with checking main topics of that presentation. So the first one, we will check several types of Google Cloud certifications. Then we will discuss why to pass Google Cloud Digital Leader certification, steps for preparation for that certification. We will review several typical questions from Google and my own. We will check how to register for an exam, actual exam experience, what's next after you passed the exam, and share your certificate step. So let's start. First one, several types of Google Cloud certification. And actually it's divided into 3 categories. So first one is foundational certification that includes role Cloud Digital Leader. And next one is associate certification that contains Cloud Engineer. If we will check professional certification, it includes a lot of roles, actually. It could be cloud architect, cloud database engineer, cloud developer, and many others. You can check everything if you will go to cloud.google.com certification. I can even open it for you. So if you will open the Google Cloud certification site, you will check that everything the same. Foundation certificate, what it is, what's recommendation for a candidate, this role, associate certification with role and the same, and professional certification that contains a lot of different roles. Okay, now let's move to other things. Why actually we need to pass Google Cloud Digital Leader? Before that, in Google Cloud certification, we had only associate level as an entry level for Google Cloud. But associate level actually required hands-on experience. It's a big and difficult exam. So Google Cloud decided to create the entry level, foundational level exam that will match analytics of AWS and Azure Foundation certificates. So new Google Cloud Digital Leader certification required no technical prerequisites, and it could be easily achieved. For example, after 15, 12 hours of preparation, 20 hours of preparation, you will be able to pass the certification exam. So let's start with what actually you need to do for that preparation. So you need to require only 4 simple steps. First one, Coursera course called Google Cloud Digital Leader Training Professional Certificate that includes 4 modules. And for each module, it's around 2 hours to complete it. Then it will be sample questions from Google. You need to review course student slides that contains PDF materials with all required information. And you also, it's my optional, but it's good to have to remember all mentors and theory. And I even created a document for that. Now let's review every link that I created for you. So the first thing that you need to know when we are going to Google Cloud, so is to review our Coursera course. Now let's open it. So you need to go to Coursera. It's professional certificates, and here you will find Google Cloud Digital Leader. So you can basically write down Digital Leader and you will find it. So this plan contains actually 1 month to complete, but actually it's based on your pace of working. So it contains 4 modules, 4 courses: Introduction to Digital Transformation with Google Cloud, Innovating with Data and Google Cloud, Infrastructure and Application Modernization with Google Cloud, and the last one, Understanding Google Cloud Security and Operation. Okay, now let's open the first one. Let me check. The first one, for example, we opened Introduction to Digital Transformation with Google Cloud. What it actually contains? It contains several modules for that course. For example, it's Introduction, Module 1, 2, 3, and Summary. For some of that modules, for example, for Module 1, you will have graded assessment. So you need to complete simple quiz, for example, at least like 80% passed. So you need to do all the things to receive a certificate that you pass that module. And in introduction part, the most mentioned part is that it contains course student slides. Actually, if you will open it, it will be just a PDF file with all student slides that you need to check additionally. So from my own experience, it will be the best if you will review all that student slides after you will complete the module, or maybe even after you complete all the 4 modules, all the 4 courses for that specialization. So let's see. For example, you covered everything, you done even summaries, and you move to another. First was Introduction to Digital, then Innovating, and etc. So you're doing great. Why you need actually all that materials? So before exam, it will be great if you will revise all that slides, because it actually contains required information and required terms that you need to remember. And what I did for my preparation, I checked every slide. It will be 4 PDF files with, I don't know, maybe almost 100 slides for each specialization. So once I reviewed them, I created a document that contains all terms divided by a course. It started with Introduction to Digital Transformation. I write it down all terms that I think will be included in the real exam. So you see that I created 2 pages for the first course. Then I started the second one, Innovating with Data in Google Cloud. I also created all the terms. The same from infrastructure and application modernization. And the last, Understanding Google Cloud Security and Operation. So there will be 2 ways for you. You can reuse my document, just print it out and use to remember every term. You can even try to do it with your friends. Someone will ask you a question and then you will answer just to remember all that topics. Or you can create your own document. And actually, I recommend you to do that. If you will do it by your own, based on all that student slides, you will analyze every slide, you will copy paste or write it down. So it also will be a part of your preparation. Okay, now let's back to our slides. What will be next? Next will be sample question from Google Cloud. Actually, you can find that link that contains Cloud Digital Leader sample questions. You can find it even on official website. I will show you that in a minute. So when you open Cloud Digital Leader, here you have some additional information. And one of that information will be step 3, prepare with sample questions. You need to click on launch sample question and you will be at this page. So you need to put your first name, last, email, your organization, your country, and etc. When you click next, actually it starts your questions. So there is no timer, there is no, you can even do anything. So for example, we're reviewing all questions, but you need to keep in mind that it's only a sample question. So you will not have any of these questions in real exam, but it's a good preparation. So after you will click on every, let's do it. For example, we don't know anything, we can do it like randomizing, picking up anything, and it will be completely okay for a first attempt. I mean, we will check what will be the result of that preparation sample questions. And result will be soon. Okay, so for example, we did it. You can do it by your own. But now let's focus on what will be the result. It will return you exact what you choose and actual like passed or failed question. So for example, first one actually is not correct. You know that it's not correct. You have correct answer and you have even feedback why it's not correct. So you can use that sample questions also as a part of your training because you can revise yourself and you can have additional information about what is what for. So there is a feedback for every question. Okay, when I did it first time, I passed it something around 75 past questions, and it will be enough because I revised all the feedback for all the questions, and it will be enough for me. Okay, now let's check next page of my presentation. And it contains typical questions. So I already showed you typical questions from Google itself, but actually in real exam, it's something different. In real exam, the question contains a lot of information. For example, it's a typical question. Susan Thorne, delivery director of health insurance company, wants to migrate her current on-premise solution to cloud to store data and receive real-time insight about customer behavior based on several combined data sets. Which types of database is suit more for her needs? And several options like database, data warehouse, data lake, and data ocean. I will give you a short amount of time to think, or you can pause the video. What you think it will be correct answer. And then I will describe how I'm thinking to pass that question. Okay, so how I'm doing that? So this question contains a lot of useful and a lot of useless information. For useful information, I marked it as a bold. So what they actually need from that old question? Real-time insights, several combined data sets, documents, videos, and emails. What actually it gives us? Real-time insight means like you need to have some machine learning or etc. Several combined data sets means it's more about data warehouse section. Documents, videos, and emails. Documents and emails could be structured or semi-structured data. Videos is usually unstructured data. So now we need to analyze our answers. For example, the first thing that I'm doing here, data ocean, it's definitely not correct answer because it's not even a real data type. In all our theory, if you can check our student slides or review materials, you will not have any terms like data ocean. So it's definitely not correct. Now let's check others that could be corrected. Let's start with database. Actually, database is wrong because it's mostly for structured data. But here we have videos that it could be semi-structured or even unstructured data. So database probably is not correct. Now let's check data warehouse. And for me, it's like correct answer because it can work with semi-structured data and assemble data from multiple sources, including databases. That is correct for several combined data sets. And it also can work with machine learning to real-time insights. And the last, data lakes. Actually, data lakes is work only for raw data and historic backups. So it's not what actually you want. So real-time data insights, it's not for data lake. So the correct answer here is data warehouse. Now let's check additional question. For example, Adam Smith, junior SRE engineer working in the same team as you, posted a question into your team chat. Hey, what application management tool I could use for checking the root cause of application issues? What will be the best answer? Cloud logging, service monitoring, cloud debugger, or cloud trace? You can also think several seconds or pause the video, and I will explain how I'm going to answer on that question. Okay, now we also need to mark what actually useful in that question. And I mark this application management tool and application issues is the most valuable things in that question. And based on that, we already can, I don't know, delete from the list of possible correct answers, cloud logging and service monitoring, because both of the tools, actually it's real tools, but both of the tools, it's operation focused tools. It's not application management tools. And we left only two options. Cloud Debugger could be correct because SRE teams use that to understand the behavior of the code in production and ability to analyze its state, to find hard-find defects. Also, it allow you to debug your code in real time without any impacting on your production performance. So it's possible, correct answer. Now let's check about CloudTrace. It also could be possible, but CloudTrace is a solution for monitoring application performance. Now we have more about application issues. It's not about performance. It's also application management tool, the same as Cloud Debugger, but for different reasons. So the correct answer here is Cloud Debugger. So there will be a lot of such questions. So as I remember, for Google Cloud Digital Leader, there will be 60 questions. It will be 1 hour and a half to pass all the questions. There will be mostly questions with single correct answer, but it was several, I don't know, 2 or 3 questions when you need to have a multiple answers like A and B and C and D and etc. It's not only one single option. Okay, now let's review how actually register for an exam. So to register it, you need to register firstly on webassessor.com Google Cloud by criterion. So then you need to choose exam and type. It could be on site if your city available and remotely from any place around the world. Then you need to go for payment, my assessment tab, install secure browser. And you can even start it once. It will fail, but it's completely okay. Once you start the exam, it will start working. Then you need to create your biometric profile. You must complete it in advance. It's required, it's mandatory. So once you registered for your exam, you paid for it, then immediately start your biometric profile in advance. And you should register several days in advance, for example. I registered in 1 week before, so I had a lot of time for preparation. And I'll say it will be good if you will book a room in silent place when nobody will disturb you. And you can even print some message like GCP exam in progress, please don't disturb, and put it in your door. Also, you need to have a room that contains no disruption. Like from my room that you can check. So it should contain empty table. It should contain no things, and you need to show your room when you will start the exam. Now, actually, let's check this web assessor site. Okay, let me open it. So how does it actually look? Here you have options for registering for an exam. If I will open it, there is a list of exams. You need Google Cloud Certified Cloud Digital Leader exam on English language, of course. Then you need to choose it will be on site or remote. It's actually the same price, but different is that you can do it from any place, from like the room that I'm currently in, or you need to go to After Site Center and do it on site. There will be some mentor for you. There will be equipment, tools, so you don't need your own laptop, this webcam, and etc. So it's decided on your ability, how to pass it, and availability of center in your city. So what next? After you register for the exam, you need to go to My Assessment tab. And actually starting with asking you about installing secure browser, you can do it by clicking install button. I'm clicking not now because you can do it anytime by clicking on that blue button, install new secure browser. You need to do it only once. And you need to immediately start your biometric profile. So biometric profile, it means like you need to find place when you have, for example, white wall behind you. and you need to keep your face in something like that position. You need to look exactly at your webcam and etc. So it will, I don't know, remember your face for next recognition during the exam session. And here also in my assessment, you will find your scheduled exam, in progress exam with the link to launch it. And for example, for me, I already completed that exam several weeks ago, so I have result passed. That's all. Okay, now return back. What we need to have additionally. So we registered for an exam and it actually started. But before starting the exam, we need to do one thing in advance. So we need to close all unnecessary application on your device. Like for example, VPN connection, your working tools like EDs, the browser, and etc. Anything that will disturb you or do something extra for your exam. You also need to mute your phone, but still you need to have it with you because it could be required for technical support. There is a link, criterianforce.com support, contact support, and it contains some chat, so you can use it. For example, it contains this site, and at the bottom of the page, you have chat with an expert. If something will happen during your exam, for example, an expert doesn't appear, or your exam doesn't appear in launch time and anything else, you can chat with an expert, and it's better to use a phone for that because you will be in secure browser. You cannot use any devices on your laptop, so you need your own phone, smartphone with connection to internet to chat with an expert to ask about help. And it's better to open that site in advance. Okay, what other things? You need to open My Assessment, for example, in 20 minutes before the exam date, because it's some required preparations. You need to show your room, you need to pass biometric profile again, and etc. Then you need to follow the guidance of actual exam. Like it will also check your VPN connection, etc. And you also need to show your everything, your room, your table, and etc. And there is some prohibited actions. Like for example, you cannot go out after the exam started. You cannot wear hats, glasses, and etc. that will, I don't know, disturb your vision because every exam recorded. And actually, there is some actions like during the exam. You need to focus your sight directly on the screen. So you cannot turn your head. You cannot move your sight to other objects. So you need to check directly on your text of exam. Because of that, and it actually could be hard for you, the only things to relax is just to close your eyes. For example, if your eyes already sore and you are like receive some pain about it, it's good just to relax by closing your eyes because other actions is not allowed. And also, once exam started and you're checking your first question, probably it will be a simple one, and you can just click on desired option and move next. But if your question is hard for you, you can mark it for late review. So every question that you're not sure this correct answer, use that flag. After you will check all the 60 questions and you will have additional time, you can click on the button review questions that was marked before for checking. And you will check not all 60 questions. You will check only 10 that you marked, or I don't know, maybe less. And after that, so you need to check all your answers that you're not sure before submitting results. And actually, I did it. For my exams that usually turn in for 1 hour and a half, I pass it in only in 40 minutes. So it will be completely fast because I was prepared well. I hope you also will be the same. And after you clicked the submitting result button, what will be next? Actually, you will receive your result immediately. It should be passed or failed result, and there will be no percentage of correct answers. So it's either passed or failed. If it's failed, it will not show you which questions you failed and which percentage you have. But I think it should be more than 75%. So if you are thinking like 80% is correct, it could be enough. What else? You will receive result immediately, but your certificate will be returned back not immediately. Usually it took about 10 working days to receive your certificate. Before that, you already know the results, so at least you know passed or failed it. If you are failed your exam, there is some described rules how to pass it again. So I think for the first time, if you fail the exam, you need to wait 2 weeks before you will be allowed to pass it one more time. After that, there will be increased time. I don't know, maybe it will be months, maybe it will be 3 months. You can review documentation about that. I passed it from the first attempt, so I didn't focus on that, but you can check it. After you will receive your certificate, it's actually a time about thinking about next grade certification. For example, it could be associate level, but I need you to tell you in advance that associate level is more hard because you need to have some hands-on experience. It's recommended to have about 6 months of hands-on experience with working with Google Cloud. And if you want to prepare for it, in Coursera, it also contains some preparation courses for that. It also contains hands-on experience, labs, and other things that you can use for preparation. But actually, I'm still not past associate level, so maybe next time I will record session about passing associate level certification. So what should be as your certificate will arrive to you? It will look like something like that. So Google Cloud, your name, and etc. And that you pass successfully Google Cloud certified. And you can use that thing to show your results on LinkedIn or any other things because it will be PDF file. You can even print it, put it on your uh, workspace and etc. So basically that's all for preparation for Google Cloud Digital Leader Certification. I hope you will pass it from the first attempt and good luck. If you will have some additional questions about quality assurance, Java testing, about Grid Dynamics company, or something about Google Cloud participation and certification, you can contact me using LinkedIn or Telegram. So that's all from my side. Thank you. See you. Have a nice day. Bye.